Here's Bernie Sanders on with Jake Tapper. Jake Tapper on a bit of a tear today. Yesterday.
He's such trash.
Here he is. Is he actually in front of Detroit, or is he in? Oh, the debate, right? Okay. I mean, it almost looks
So sweet of you to fly out on location to be annoying, Jake.
right. Here he is. The debates are coming up. Jake is out there. He's of all the questions you would want to ask about healthcare, here is the one that Jake Tapper asks.
Here in Detroit, you appeared to compare pharmaceutical industry executives who are artificially jacking up prices to murderers. Take a listen.
Somebody goes out and shoots somebody, they're called a murderer. We all agree with that, put them away. But what happens if somebody runs a pharmaceutical industry and artificially jacks up the price?
Now, pause it. I don't know what Bernie's going to say here, but I will tell you this. I think there's a very good case to be made if you could prove that the pharmaceutical executives knew what would happen when they raised those prices, or it was reasonable for them to know that you could get a charge of manslaughter. Now, I don't know, maybe some people might quibble. Well, manslaughter is a form of murder in some way, I think. But I don't think that's the case. It's manslaughter. So I think Jake is on to something here, but continue.
Pharmaceutical executives, I think, first of all, I misspoke. I said disabilities when I meant diabetes, obviously, for insulin. Pharmaceutical executives see themselves as people who help save lives and improve lives. Do you really see them as murderers?
Well, this is a philosophical issue that we have to deal with. If in the case of insulin, people are dying right now. The cost of insulin has soared in recent years. You have 3 companies who control over 90% of the insulin market. 1 out of 4 people, we have 7 million people use insulin. 1 out of 4 are rationing that insulin. People are dying. There is strong evidence that there is price fixing, that these companies simultaneously raise the prices at outrageous levels, far, far, far more than the cost of production. Jake, if I have a product that costs me a few dollars to make, and I jack up that price, and you can't afford it, and you die, what do you call me? So you can call them whatever you want, but I will tell you that as President of the United States, we are going to take on the pharmaceutical industry. We're going to have an attorney general who is going to deal with the incredible concentration of ownership, and we're going to use antitrust legislation.
All right, so I should just say, since this is the focus that Jake wants to do this, that manslaughter is not murder because you don't have the intent. But it's reckless disregard for life. It's criminally reckless disregard for life. I mean, I think we can establish that now. We have enough. There's enough facts out there that we now know, right? Like we know if you don't give people access to Medicaid because you're a Republican governor and you don't want to, that there's actually like a formula. You can look at the data, the real data, and find out how many people are going to die because of that. Now, we make these decisions all the time. I imagine there's someone in the U.S. government, I imagine there are insurance executives who know that if we raise the speed limit to 75 miles an hour from 55, that we're going to increase deaths. The question is when you do it for profits and you know that people rely on medication and that the raising of the cost of these medications, basically, unlike people who decide to drive 75 miles an hour as the speed limit's there, they can't make a choice. That's the very definition. They can't make a choice to get the medicine. I think you could make an argument, but I would like to see that debate. The debate that Jake Tapper sponsors. Are pharmaceutical executives who raise the prices of whatever it is, generics or actually their own medications, are they murderers or manslaughters? I think that would be a good debate to have.
But then some people in the ruling class might get their feelings hurt.
This is what's amazing is that this is the line of questioning that Jake wants to take.
Well, it's got the exact same energy as the Anderson Cooper clip where AOC says that she thinks Trump is racist, and he looks at her like, how can you say that?
Right.
Well, he literally said that. I mean, even just, but it also goes back to, Cass Sunstein, who, speaking of, bad legacies of people empowered in the Obama era and just by Ivy Leagues generally, but he was the sort of, he was like the upmarket version of Bernie Sanders is doing the same thing as Donald Trump. And is demonizing Wall Street really that much different than dividing people along racial lines?
He's showing his ass.
No, I mean, he's making a strategy.
Let's stick with